Jason Rzucidlo reporting inside the Troppo Restaurant in downtown Lansing. NASCAR driver Brad Keselowski is here to preview the upcoming NASCAR season at Michigan International Speedway.
Is it time for a young gun to get after Jimmy and that team and change the status quo?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been time. It's just nobody's been able to do it. His team is so good, and he's good too. But his team is just so good, and with the testing ban and other things that we've seen implemented in the sport, nobody's been able to catch up. Basically, you're looking at a team that found itself in front when the testing ban came in, and nobody's been able to keep up or catch up because of it. So, we've seen some, probably flashes, I would say, of other teams being able to kind of close the gap. We saw that a little bit with Gibbs this year, but I don't think they're there.
Brad, how tough is it to run both series?
Physically or mentally?
Both.
Well, I mean, physically it can be tough depending on what shape you're in. Obviously, it's more wear and tear on your body, and hard to keep up with it physically. Just trying to eat enough seems to be a problem. But as the summer comes, the heat and stuff kind of gets you a little bit. But you also build up tolerances quicker. From a mental perspective, it helps you probably focus a little bit better in the race. Some people would say worse, but it's actually a little bit better because you're running more races and things just seem to come a little bit more natural. And conversely, there's a little bit of a lack of focus as it pertains to the car side and what it takes to communicate with your team to make yourself better. So it's very much a give and take relationship, and it's hard to necessarily manage it all the time, but I certainly don't see it as a disadvantage.
You like the new rules? You were saying that it's going to bring a lot more to the table.
Which one?
About the top 10, and then you got the two wide open.
I love the idea of rewarding race winners. Yeah, I don't see anything that can come negatively from that.
So you said number 11 and number 12 just will be top wins from the ones that are outside.
Yeah, from the ones that are outside, not that are inside.
Right, so that's going to be huge.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
there'll be a lot of possible with the ones that are going to be trying for that number 2.
We try so hard in our sport to compare it to other sports, but sometimes there's just things that aren't comparable. And the value of winning a race is one of them. You'd like to say, well, the Lions would have made the playoffs if they beat last year's Super Bowl winning team, and that should qualify them automatically in. It just doesn't quite have the same pizzazz to it as the guy that wins 3 races like Jamie McMurray that's not in the chase gets in.
So he would have obviously.
Yeah, obviously would have got in. Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of tricky how that works, I guess. But sometimes we have to separate ourselves and not try to be NFL or baseball or hockey or basketball, and just realize the strengths that we have and play off of them. And I think the idea of taking 11th and 12th seed in the chase and basing them off of race wins is uniquely auto racing, and I like it.
Brad, what about the new rule? Have you and your team talked about the now only 6 men over the wall, the new gas cans? A lot of people are worried about the new gas cans because it doesn't fill up fast enough.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a difference to the fans on the gas can. It'll make a difference within the team. Certainly all the teams are working on it, and Penske Racing's no exception, but I don't think we'll see a difference to the fans. You just have to be a little bit smarter with what you do. But all these teams are smart. They'll figure this out very, very quickly. And I think really the only concern as of now is the wear and tear on the actual parts themselves. And unless there's an actual failure of parts, I just don't see it. Issue coming up to where the fans will even notice a difference.
Well, you guys as a driver, as soon as that jack is dropped, you're gone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And the tank might not be filled up because of these new gas tanks.
Sure, I mean, that's going to happen a lot. But, a great race strategist, that would be a crew chief, a great crew chief race strategist, he's going to plan accordingly and make sure that you don't run yourself out on the next stop. So I don't think we'll run into huge issues there.
So winning at Michigan, what goes through your head?
Wondering what friends from high school are sitting in the grandstand I didn't know about, to be honest. That's the first thing I think. And then, thinking about your mom and dad being in Victory Lane and your sisters and, your long-lost cousins and so forth.
How did you get the nickname BK2?
I don't know. It just seems simple. I didn't come up. I don't come up with my own nicknames. People just give them to me. There's a lot of them.
What are your thoughts on the recovery of the Big Three? Because you're driving Dodge and everything.
Yeah, well, it's amazing to see how quickly things have turned. Hell, I remember 2 years ago reading all this crap about how the government shouldn't bail out the auto companies, and now here we are, and they're all about to pay back everything they've gotten. I think some of them already have, and it's just quite amazing to see that rapid turnaround. And remembering some of the comments were made about how Detroit will never come back and how the automotive industry will never come back, and boy, did some people eat some crow on that one, which was kind of good to. Yeah, it was a good feeling.
Chad, I'm Dick.
Again. So what are some of the improvements that are being made to the racetrack for this season?
Well, we're always making improvements for the fans out there, and this year certainly is no exception. We're putting in some new tram routes, which is really important for the fans. We've got improvements going in for the scoreboard, all kinds of things like that. We're the tunnel. The pedestrian tunnel that allow fans to go back and forth with pit passes during the race, that's getting improved. So all kinds of things out there, and look forward to everyone coming out and having a good time. Prices are still very low for everyone. In fact, just looked the other day, the ticket prices are the lowest they've been since 1998. So you got to go way back, and tickets start at $25 to come out and see all the stars of the Cup Series. So great opportunity to come out.
All right. Now, is the ARCA Series coming this year?
Yeah, ARCA Series will be back. The Rain Eaters 200 will be in June again on Friday. And we did move Cup qualifying off Friday onto Saturday. And that'll be paired up with the Nationwide Series event. So we're excited for that. That's going to be a heck of a ticket to come out on Saturday now and see some qualifying and practice and a race. So, and a concert that night as well, our traditional free concert for all the fans out there on Saturday night. So should be a great day of racing.
All right. I understand the terrace seating was torn down. Why did that happen for?
Well, last year we took down the old media center and pit terrace suites, and we put up the new building, $17 million state-of-the-art facility. It's been great. It takes care of all of our suite guests. It takes care of the media, which is very important to us all. But just as important for the fans that have pit passes, it's been great because the drivers' meeting is all glass. People can stand there, watch the drivers come in. They can actually see the drivers' meeting. We put in speakers all around there so the fans out there can hear what's going on with the drivers' meeting. All kinds of other really cool things like being able to see into the garage and see tech and inspection now. So really upgrading the experience for the fans.
Now, the garage area, is that going to be redone for this season, or is that a few years down the road?
No, we're a few years down the road still, working on the garage area. We got these other projects we're working on and a couple more, but it certainly is on the burner, probably not the front one, but it's still on the stove, and we will be getting to a lot more and have actually more announcements coming up of some things that we'll be doing in the next couple of years. But I tell you, when we're done, and we've already spent $55 million the last couple of years, it's going to look like a completely different facility for everyone.
Very good. And lastly, the Wine Fest, I understand now it is in May, so talk about that.
Well, we had a great time last year with the inaugural wine festival, and we decided to move it a little bit earlier. The wineries were excited about maybe kicking off their season the whole summer in May, and so we moved that to May 21st, and looking forward to another Great Lakes Wine Festival.
Okay. And how are the ticket sales for the races so far?
They're going pretty good. I'm excited about the momentum we've seen. I know ticket sales for Daytona are really going well. They're okay for us. I think that we're going to have a great crowd. We had an unbelievable crowd last year. We had over 100,000 at both Cup races, and expecting that again this year. But we've got some of the best fans in the country right here in not only Michigan but parts of Canada, Indiana, Ohio that everyone's coming up from. So they're very dedicated, and we're very blessed to have those fans.
Okay, thanks a lot.